Cool. We're live. So this is going to be our first stream. We're going to be reading Fate's Day Night. I'm Isaiah.
And I'm Kelsey.
Yep. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Going to be trying to get some regular streams going in and just make a hobby out of this. Maybe record some visual novel streams and read to people, and then also, I don't know, play some other co-op games. We'll see what happens though. Did you share the stream at all or no?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Give me 1 second, then I'll get this started. Oh, whoops. I meant to send it in Discord too. Oh well, that's fine. That's not a big deal. You don't need to. You can talk too, you know. You good? All right. Do you want to read first or no?
Yeah, sure I can.
Okay.
The tip of the spear was like a flashing of light. A flash of lightning.
Sorry, you're good.
A spearhead thrust to skewer the heart. Even attempting to evade it was pointless. It was but a flash, too swift for the human eye to follow.
Come on. You want to go back and forth?
And yet, moonlight swept in to save me from the strike that threatened to end me. The sound was beautiful, like the tolling of a bell. No, truth be told, the sound hung over me, heavier than an iron weight. This beauty had little to do with the aesthetics. The stark armor wrapped about her was like frozen night itself. The ringing was not in itself pleasant. It was the sound of steel. But the night herself was beautiful enough to make it into the chiming of a bell. Her voice resonated in the darkness.
You want to take turns? All right. Just as she chose to serve me, I'm sure in that moment that I swore to save her. The moonlight cut through the darkness. As if in imitation of the night, the storehouse regained its former calm. Time had stopped. The vision before me had lasted less than a second. Be that as it may, I will always remember the sight of her, as clearly as it were still happening now, even if I fall into the depths of hell. The faint slant of her profile, her serene, divinely green eyes. For a moment, time stopped, and her silhouette, draped in blue, swayed in the wind. I was struck by the pale blue glow. Her hair, as fine as a gold thread, was bathed in moonlight. Cool. Do you remember seeing that before?
I vaguely remember seeing it.
What do you mean vaguely? We saw it like twice in the movie and the show.
I
Not that
actually
big.
don't remember seeing it, but that's okay.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't
I mean, it wasn't that long ago. Yeah, that seems like pretty iconic. So the start of this is gonna be like the same for every single route. You remember that, right?
I remember, definitely.
It's like the first. Thanks, Billiam. Appreciate it. That's Josh in the chat.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah, the start of the routes are all the same. So in this route, like it always starts as like from Rin's perspective, and then it'll pick up from like the actual story. So you want me to keep reading?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Go ahead.
This happened 10 years ago. I see someone who takes me back. He's tall, with chiseled features. I've never known him to crack a joke. He ruffles my hair affectionately. No, that's not what this is. It's more like he's grasping my head and working it like a stubborn jar lid. Maybe he doesn't know how to control his strength. That's only to be expected. It's the first time he's ever done something like this. It's time for... Oh, I guess it's not voice. Alright. It's time for me to leave. You know what to do next. I answered yes, in a somber voice. He nodded once, withdrew his hand, and stood up. That's all. Had I known this would be the last time we would ever see each other, I would have done my best to make him laugh with the perfect joke. I'd been practicing punchlines in private in hopes of finally seeing a smile crack that stony face. If I have one regret, it's that I never got to tell him any of my jokes. Get the association in your debt before you become an adult. Any decisions after that I leave up to you. I'm sure you'll manage on your own. So he said, but I bet he was worried about me. He told me about our family's heirloom jewels, the gems passed down us from our grandmaster, and how to manage the underground workshop. Yeah, Brooklyn's sad. This is making her depressed.
She wants to read too.
Yeah. All right. It was a rapid-fire course of subjects he'd never taught me before. Even as a child, I realized that he would probably never come home again.
It's really sad. It's really sad.
Yeah. You want to go, or you want me to?
Sure, yeah.
All right.
There was a war. Not a war between countries, but between people. But in this war, there were only 7 combatants. It might not have seemed fitting to call it a war, but having mages involved changes things. 7 mages from different factions competed, but I wasn't sure why. They killed each other.
Oh, sorry. All right. Should we take her out or something? All right, yeah, we'll do that really quick.
All right, guys, be right back.
Let me pause this. I actually don't know the controls on this. She's gonna take the dog out because bro is not having it. What? It wasn't. Actually, it was a while ago. Now that I'm thinking about it, you can take her out. Well, thank you anybody that is stopping by. I really appreciate it. Just waiting a little second till Kelsey's back. Well, she's definitely outside, barking at the probably neighbor's dogs or something. Does the audio sound fine, by the way? Like the game isn't too loud. It's kind of loud in my headphones, but we're gonna rock with it for now, I guess. Hey Marissa, how are you? Let me know if everything sounds okay on your end. What are you doing, Brooklyn? Uh-oh. Somebody's heading out. You're good. The door open. Alright, that's fine. The audio sounds balanced so far. You're good. Alright, sweet. Alright, you ready?
I am back. Hi, Marissa.
Cool. Alright, you're good to go, Cal.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Alright, cool. Do you want to keep reading?
Yeah, that's fine.
Alright.
One of them was the man in front of me. It meant that he would kill and eventually be killed. I'm sure he felt the ticking of his life's clock even more keenly than I did.
You want me to read this since it's a guy?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, yeah. We'll try and keep it like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like male, female. Alright. Rin, before long, the Holy Grail War will appear. Or Holy Grail will appear. It is the duty of the Tosakas to obtain it, but above all, it is a path we are destined to walk as mages.
And with that, he ruffled my hair one last time and left. I never saw him again. My father/teacher was one of the masters who participated in the Holy Grail War. He never came home.
いってらっしゃいませ、お父様。
I bid him farewell as a well-behaved daughter should. I knew I was on the verge of tears, but I didn't let them show. I loved him. He was a great father and an even greater mage. Mages are stubborn people. As far as I knew, there wasn't a more upstanding man in the whole world. As my instructor, he trained me. As my father, he left me. So I decided I'd accept the things he left for me and choose my own path.
Rin, before long, the Holy Grail will appear. I don't know why I keep saying war. Alright. It is the duty of the Tosakas to obtain it, but above all, it is a path we are destined to walk as mages. In the end, his final words for me were given as a mage, not a father. That's the moment I made up my mind.
よし、それじゃあ一つ気合い入れて一人前になりますか。だってるだってる。
Oh, thank you for the follow. Reach was the best Halo game. Nice. Good name, good name. Alrighty. It's only natural for an apprentice to live up to her master's hopes. That's how I, Rin Tosaka, grew up after experiencing life's twists and turns. Oh well, that's okay. It doesn't really matter. It's been 10 years since my father went off to war. I wouldn't say I've been looking forward to this day, but I'm a bit on edge. That goes without saying, after all. That moment which was burned into my memory 10 years ago will soon be upon me again. Cool. So we're on the first night of the game.
Was that also a part of the beginning? Because I feel like I remember that part.
I actually don't think so. I think that's added.
Was this part? Because I remember the phone ringing. No.
No, that's Mahoya. It seems like they like to start games like this. So we'll try and move through this quick.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, you want to go?
I hear something. Ring, ring.
うるさい。止まれ。
The noise doesn't stop. It's such an infernal racket, it's almost as if it's here to avenge my father.
はいよもう。昨日は遅くまでやってたんだから。もうちょっと。
I wish it'd just let me sleep a bit more. In fact, it should. I stayed up into the early hours deciphering my father's will, and I used a hell of a lot of magical energy to do it. I'm totally exhausted, body and mind.
もう。融通の利かないやつ。
Ring, 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 ring. The alarm clock is deaf to my complaints. What kind of machine makes a noise that seems like its sole purpose is to remind you that you're late?
遅刻はまずい。
True, but there's a time and place for everything. No matter how much of an overachiever I am, I should try to make it to school on time at least for today, if only slightly.
そうそう。あらかじめ30分ずらして目覚ましをセットしたんだから、あと30分は眠れるはず。
Doesn't that sound off?
30分ずらして？
I peer at the alarm clock through sleep-heavy eyelids. The hands point to 7 o'clock on the dot. I usually get up at 6:30, which means I've completely used up my safety margin. Speaking of which, why is my brain so slow in the morning? I glare at the alarm clock for several seconds. I shut off the alarm and climb sluggishly out of bed.
Thank God.
That was annoying.
Yeah, I actually think it's worse in Mahoyo, that alarm clock, or in that game it's not a alarm clock, it's like the phone ringing, but that lasts for like freaking 15 minutes.
I didn't even realize how bad it was until it stopped, and I was like, oh, geez.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
it's
really annoying.
pretty obnoxious. I guess it did its job. So.
Yeah. She was right.
All right, I'll read.
Yeah, good.
The morning chill bites at me as I cross the hallway and enter the parlor. This is the final 7 a.m. in January. Winters in Fuyuki are relatively warm, but the mornings here are as cold as anywhere. Even at home, my breath mists white. It's that much colder without anyone else living here.
暖房暖房。
Turn on the heater and go wash up. Ooh. Thank you for following.
Thank you for following. I can't see.
It was Marissa.
Oh, thanks, Maris.
Yeah, the alarm clock is really annoying. Sorry, it's just part of the game. All right.
Rip. Sorry.
What's up?
Oh no, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Single living is so inconvenient at times like these. If there was someone else here to wake up before me, then the parlor would already be heated. I wash my face at the sink, run a brush through my long hair, and get dressed. I think hamburgers work great with fries. Yeah, me too, man. It's a good combo. Maybe even a goated combo. Got another follow.
Oh, thank you for the follow.
I think it was Bob. Yeah, it was Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Cool, thank you. All right. I run a brush through my long hair and get dressed. I think I read that already. A chilly morning in a frigid bathroom. Yo, Billiam. Thank you for the follow. You're all good, Josh. All right. The only thing to be said for it is that the cold water mercilessly beats the sleepiness from me. With a final tug on the ribbon at my collar, I finish getting dressed. Yo, Froggersy, let's go. All that's left is to have a breakfast and go to school. The clock reads just past 7, so my morning rush feels a bit anticlimactic. Oh, I don't even... Oh, whoops. Didn't mean to interrupt her. Of course, I'd never do anything so uncouth as sprinting to school. The Tosaka family motto dictates that we conduct ourselves with confidence and elegance at all times. My ancestors must have been some high and mighty aristocrats if that's what we've taught through the generations. The anachronistic mansion I live in is proof enough of that. Plus, the Tosakas are a line of spell weavers who practice what is known as magecraft. We're not just an old family. We have an admirably storied history. You want to go? All right.
まあその自慢できることでもないんだけど。
In fact, I literally can't talk about it. The truth is, I'm a mage. Who could I even brag about that to? As the name suggests, magecraft is what most normal people would see as magic. It sounds like some supernatural woo-woo, and if you'd like to think of it as just wiggling your fingers and saying abracadabra, that's fine too. Just think of us as people who chant weird words and make equally weird stuff happen. That said, we don't fly around on broomsticks. We don't shoot stars out of wands either. We can do things kind of like that, but there's no point, so we don't. We're pretty much heretics who lurk in the shadows of society. We're not allowed to draw attention to ourselves, and anyone who has the time for that kind of thing would rather spend it on their research.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but Bob, yeah, I didn't tell you that. It's because, yeah, they have like 2 episodes out, but the last episode came out like a year ago, and then this one came out this year, but there's like no date for when it's coming out, so it's just kind of like, I don't know, in development hell. We watched that together though.
Yeah, it was a pretty good episode.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I think that because we watched them so spaced out, it was kind of hard to like remember what's going on, because that first episode is like an hour long.
Yeah, it was hard to follow, but then at the same time, it didn't really feel like it related to the first episode much.
Yeah.
I don't know if you feel the same way.
Well, yeah, I think like it's kind of just the Fate thing where they like introduce a bunch of characters at the start and they jump between them, and then you're like confused on what's going on between who, remembering who's who. But you started watching it yesterday. Let me know what you thought, gamer. You wanna keep going?
Yeah.
Alright. Animation's yeah, that animation's gas.
Ordinary humans might call us magicians, but that would be wrong. In fact, there are only 5 magicians in the whole world. Magicians are what we call people who can do something no one else can. They can accomplish feats beyond the means of modern science and perform genuine miracles.
Yo, thank you, Danny, for the follow.
Thank you for the follow.
You want me to read?
No, I got it.
Okay.
Similarly, magic is a label we use for mystics, magical mysteries, that can't be realized with any amount of time or skill. While magecraft, though it looks mysterious, is something anyone can do with enough time and resources. I'm a mage, and the kind of mystics I use are merely magecraft, not true magic. Confusing, I know, but that's how it works. Also, modern civilization doesn't accept the existence of mages. We believe in manipulate and study things that can't be measured, which puts us at odds with modern society. Above all, there's no point to any of what we do. You'd be so much happier just going off to a normal school and becoming a normal adult than you would studying magecraft. Human technology has accomplished great things. For the last few centuries, magecraft has been playing catch-up to the progress of civilization. Nothing is impossible for humanity anymore. Miracles that could only be realized with magecraft in the distant past have been reduced to common tools and appliances.
All right, Bob. We'll see you later.
Thanks for stopping by, Bob.
Yeah, thank you for stopping by.
Hi, Danny. Go ahead, Ed. Hey.
All right. Even so, magecraft does have its benefits. Just as there are some things only science can accomplish, there remain heights only mystics can reach. If science is racing into the future, then mages are racing into the past. I think the Tosaka Grand Master said that. Whether you're heading into the past or the future, your destination is the same, 0, or something like that. We can shelve the difficult topics for now. Philosophy is for the elderly. True. Not Rin's style. Alright. I finished my breakfast and picked up my bag. I'm reluctant to take something so valuable to school, but it would be a waste to leave it behind. Remember that, right? One could even say it is on an entirely different level. I obtained the gem after decoding my father's last will last night. It's imbued with 10 years worth of my own magical energy. I've been told that the Tosaka family has heirloom jewels passed down since the olden days, and this might be one of them. Tosaka mages specialize at the conversion and flow of power. We channel our magical energy into precious gems whenever we have a spare moment. Simply put, I'm the gun and the jewels are the bullets. The other main thing I've inherited from my father is the magic crest engraved into my left arm. A magic crest is proof that I'm the heir to our lineage. It's like all the techniques of the Tosaka condensed into a tattoo.
まだ始まったわけじゃないけど、用心に越したことはないか。
Something I'm kind of realizing, like reading through this, it's probably going to be like more apparent the farther we are, but it does seem like they'll probably explain more of the magic as we read rather than the way the show does it. Like, I feel like the show just glosses over it and it's more about like cool fights. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
But
agree.
it'll probably be a lot more like technical, which is cool. For now, I stow my pendant, my father's keepsake, in a pocket.
切り札だものね。これに秘められた魔力ならできないことはないぐらいなんだし。
It's 7:30. I'd better leave soon if I don't want to be late for school. I'm actually really quick. I am going to adjust this because the music is a lot louder than her voice.
Yeah, I kind of realized it is.
So I'm gonna have it mixed so that her voice is a little bit louder. Hopefully that helps. Alright, cool.
シュミスン、フィアファレントライ。
I weave energy into a brief foreign phrase. As a mage, I can't neglect the security of my home base. That still applies even if I've never had so much as a single burglar, lost child, or stray cat wander into my home. Actually, I don't think the neighbors have ever even come over to say hello.
別にいいけどね。野良猫でさえ入ってこないってどういうことよ。
I look up at the mansion that's been my home for over a decade. Fuyuki is a strange city. One side of the intersection dividing the residential areas is filled with old samurai estates, while the side I'm on has an abundance of mansions built in European style. Apparently, a whole bunch of foreign families immigrated here long ago, but I've never seen a single foreigner around. There's even a cemetery for foreigners in Shinto, the new part of the city, across the river, but it was built for a generation that immigrated here.
日本の土が合わなかったのかな。
I make a mental note to ask the priest about it next time I visit the church. He's nothing if not full of boring trivia for sure. Talking about Kirei.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
あれ？
Something feels off as soon as I step outside.
なんだろう。思ったより静かなんですけど。
I feel like I'm reading all of the scenes that are like mysterious and gloomy. There's no trace of the typical morning bustle. At 7:30 in the morning, there would normally be students and workers on their daily commute.
まあ、こういう日もあるか。
Maybe everyone slept in. It's unusually cold today, so everyone must be snuggled up in bed.
けどさすがに。
Even if that were true, it's strange that there isn't a single student on the street. At this time of day, you'd expect to see at least a school uniform or two. And yet, from where I'm standing at the school gate, it looks like morning club activities are just starting up. Which can only mean...
あれ遠坂今朝は一段と早いのね。
やっぱりそうきたか。
With a light sigh, I turned to face the student who called out to me.
おはよう。今日も寒いねこりゃ。
The girl who addresses me so casually is Ayako Mitsuzuri. Mitsuzuri?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's my classmate in 2A, and she has quite a history.
おはよう、みつづりさん。つかぬことを聞くけど、今何時だかわかる？
She kind of looks like Ryogi, but like her hair is a little bit more like reddish.
Brown. Red, brown,
Yeah.
ん何時って7時前じゃない。遠坂寝ぼけてる？
She waves her hand in front of my face as if to ask if anybody's home. Ayako is one of my few friends, and she knows I'm not a morning person. She's probably figured out by now that I'm still not completely with it.
うちの時計1時間早かったみたい。 しかも軒並み。目覚まし時計はおろか柱時計まできっかり早まってた。
What's going on here? Father must have set the clocks to go haywire once I took the pendant out of the underground cellar.
遠坂、
気にしないで、別に大したことじゃないから。それより三辻さんは今日も朝練？
ええ、弓道部は問題児も多いし、上手いのが一人減ったからね。4月の新入生獲得のために少しぐらいは見栄えを良くしとかないと。
そう、気苦労が絶えないのね、相変わらず。
他人事だからって言ってくれるわ。あ、ついでだから見ていく？遠坂が見学する分には男どもも喜ぶけど。
弓道部か。
I'm acquainted with 3 of its members. One is Ayako, the girl I'm talking to now. I barely ever speak to the other 2. Of those latter 2, there's one that I actually can't explain away as simply an acquaintance. I became friends with Ayako, the club captain, because I'd been watching the club from afar.
そうね、様子を見るだけなら付き合うわ。早く来すぎたからやることもないし。
よし、じゃあ善は急げ。早速行こう。
You want me to pick?
Oh, yeah.
Alright. One of our school's trademarks is its well-equipped archery range. The chair of the school board has a passion for Kyudo, traditional Japanese archery, so they built a magnificent range on campus. It's kind of a waste for a high school club, to be honest.
ほらほら、まだ開始まで時間があるし、中でお茶しようぜ、遠坂。
If I'm being honest, her brusque? Yeah, I think brusque, I don't know. Brusque way of speaking is a bad habit. As Ayako said, there's no one else at the range. We sip Japanese tea that's so hot it numbs my tongue as we prepare ahead for today's classes. The hot drink is delicious and in the quiet, wintry archery range.
Sounds really
さ
good.
て、
I'm good.
単刀直入に聞くけど、そっちの調子はどうなのよ、遠坂。いい加減頼りになる相棒は見つかった？
And she uses the occasion to ask me something completely ridiculous.
ほんと、いきなり本題に入るのね、あなたは。その言いぶりだと、そっちはもう見つけたんだ。
It's just girl gossip.
ノーコメント。遠坂が手を沸かすまではこっちも秘密さ。で、どうなのよ。その疲れた顔を見ると脈ありって感じだけど。
こっちもノーコメント。あなたに隠してもどうせ見抜かれるか。残念ながらこっちはまだよ。綾子の方はお互いのんびりしてる余裕はないはずだけど。
そうなんだけど、私も雲行きは怪しいわ。とりあえず取り繕うことはできるけど、ことがことでしょ。この先の命運がかかってるんだから妥協するわけにもいかないし。
勝手に決めて私に負けるのも嫌？
もちろん、私にとって重要なのはあんたを任すことだもの。何が手に入るとか何を手に入れるとかは二の次よ。
She chuckles confidently.
似た者同士ね、私たち。
Wait, are they gonna have like an archery duel? Is that what they're saying is happening? Or?
No, they're talking about like competing for boys, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. The implication was that like basically Rin came to school early because she was trying to see a guy.
Oh.
Yeah. And what I don't remember what her name is. The girl here, she was saying that she won't tell her. Ooh. Thank you for the follow, K-Sway.
Thank you for the follow.
I was gonna say that she was saying that like she won't show her cards, as in like she won't tell her who she's like interested in if it's not, you know, like even. Yeah, you know what I mean?
I totally. I
It's-
was like, I don't know. They're talking about like archery, like who's gonna be better. I'm like,
no.
Alright, go ahead.
ねえ、初めて会った時に言ったでしょ。あんたとはそういう関係にあるんだって。
She did, didn't she? Watching on silent. Damn. That kind of sucks because there's not going to be a lot of gameplay going on. It's just reading.
Well, I mean, I guess she can look at the screen.
Yeah, she could look at it and read it, I guess. But she won't hear like parts like this.
Well, still, thank you for being here. Not
Yeah,
that
thank you for coming.
Not that you can hear us, but
Alright.
I'll send a message in the chat.
I was genuinely surprised to have someone say that right off the bat. Translation. Our friendship won't bloom unless we're constantly trading blows, is what Ayako was saying, or is what Ayako is getting at. I agree with her. In the 2 years since then, I still haven't figured out whether she's my friend or nemesis.
ところでさ、私たちなんでこんな話してるんだっけ？
なんでって言い出したのは遠坂でしょ。あんたがいつまでも彼氏がいないのは女としてどうよなんてこぼすもんだから。なら3年になる前にどっちが先に男作るかって勝負になったんじゃない。
ああ、そうだった。売り言葉に買い言葉ってやつだった。で、遅れを取った方が一日言いなりになるんだって。
Interesting bet. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
ええ、今時子供でも交わさない約束だけど、あんたと私に限って往生際が悪いってことはないで
There
し
you
ょ。
go. She kind of said it herself. She doesn't really think people do stuff like that anymore.
どんな結果になろうと、負けた方はおとなしく勝者に従うことになる。それを思うと私は今から楽しみで楽
Ayako
しみで。
snickers in delight. I think I might have skipped over the dialogue. My bad. Alright, my goodness. Ayako Mitsuzuri is, to put it mildly, a handful. I'll admit, I'm looking forward to winning myself, so that goes for both of us. Or, goes for us both.
けど三辻さん、楽しむのは結構だけど、目的を違えないよう気をつけなさい。勝負の内容は後先だけじゃないでしょ。
分かってるって。遠坂より早く遠坂が心底羨ましがるような関係にならないと完全勝利とは言えないからね。まあ私たちにとってはそれが一番厄介な問題なんだが、どんなにいい男だろうと好きになれなきゃ意味がない。
Ayako's sigh is heavy. From what I've heard, she's known as a bit of a misandrist. Can't put too much stock in gossip though. That she made this bet at all means less that she doesn't like boys and more that she hasn't found the right person. That aside,
ちょっと、私たちって何よ、私たちって。断っておきますけど、私はそっちと違って冷血感じゃありません。男の子を
ああ、それ嘘。もしくは気づいていないだけ。
Maybe I
遠
should be
坂
the
が
one
男を気
controlling
に
this
かけ
thing.
るなんてことは絶対ないもの。今まで数えきれないぐらい告白されたくせに一つも色良い返事してないじゃない。少しでも興味があるなら付き合おうって思うでしょ。なのに断り続けるってことはあんたは男に興味がないってことよ。
発想が貧困ね。その場合、すでに好きな相手がいるから断ってるって話もありじゃない？
うわ、すっごい美談。いいね、そういうの。ロマンだな。
Aiko's tone isn't mocking. She nods solemnly. Her sigh tells me that it would be nice if it were true. I don't believe myself. I really can't hide anything from her.
そうね。私もそう思う。
She's right. I know very well how cold I am.
認めるわ。私、こと恋愛に関しては素人みたい。
そういうこと。似た者同士だって言ったのは遠坂でしょ。ってもうじき7時か。秘密の話はこの辺にしとこう。いつ人がやってくるかわからないし、朝になったら学生らしく振る舞わないとな。
まあ、 三辻さんにもそういう世間体があったなんて意外だわ。ええ、これだけでも早起きした甲斐があったみたい。
あんたほど筋金入ってないけどね。私の世間体なんて遠坂凛に比べたら灯籠の斧ってもんよ。あんたの猫っかぶりは擬態っていうより別人格のレベルよ。別人格。
You want to read?
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
I empty the rest of the teacup she poured me and brew a new pot.
で、遠坂はどうして部活に入らないのよ。運動神経がないなんてざれ言は聞かないからね。私は去年の体力測定でことごとくあんたに負けたのまだ恨んでるんだから。
あら、肺活量では三辻さんに負けたわよ、私。あと、体重も三辻さんのが上だったけど。
やったー、重さで3キロ上回った。
Kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
It's kind of weird, like at Japanese schools they like measure everything like for the kids' bodies pretty much. Like to make sure that they're really healthy. I mean, I guess like on one hand it's kind of like they're making sure that everybody's like actually maintaining their health, but on the other hand it's like it's got to make you pretty self-conscious that you got like, I don't know, like your nurse is like actually like, yo, like you're too heavy, bro.
Yeah, that reminds me of like those pacer tests, the fitness test, pacergram, whatever they're called. Those are awful.
I don't think I ever had to do that.
You never had to do those?
No.
They kind of suck, and I feel like they're like engraved in my brain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody knows the sound when they hear it. Yeah.
体重で勝っても嬉しくないってのよ、このタヌキ。
Ayako slaps the table.
危ない。お茶がこぼれるでしょ、三辻さん。首相なんだから道場は大事になさい。
うるさい。私は首相である前に遠坂のライバルだ。部員がいなけりゃあんたに食ってかかるのは当然よ。
Ayako side-eyes me with a huff. She has a unique idea about beauty. A beautiful woman must walk the martial path. She's always going on about that. Not surprisingly, she's well versed in most martial arts. Kyudo was the discipline she was least skilled at, so she joined the club and worked her way up to captain. She's probably one of the top 3 people in our school you'd least want to mess with. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, that's honestly pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, they made it sound like she also has done other martial arts, to be fair. But
yeah, I know, but like choosing the thing that you're like the worst at and then becoming the captain, that's kind of baller.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. She should have been the main character.
Yeah.
I think they have a, I don't know that it's translated, but I think there is a manga in Japan where it's, so like there's 3 girls, like Aiko is one of them, that are like all part of like a friend group that go to the school. They're like just side characters. Like you kind of see them in the show maybe like once, but they're like actually in this a couple times. And they have their own manga of them just like joking around like it's like a slice of life thing, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Is it like the food one? The food slice?
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but it doesn't have all those characters. Like it's just it's completely slice of life. It's just like high school drama stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
問題発言なもんですか。私はお飾りの首相だから、できることって言ったら不良部員を取り締まることだけよ。私以上にしゃがりっぱなやつがいるんだから、首相としての面目なんてないわ。
そうなの？藤村先生、三辻さんは飛び抜けてうまいって言ってたけど。
あの人がそう言うんなら、そりゃ少しは自信が持てるけど、まあいなくなっちまったやつのことなんて考えても仕方ないか。そうね、藤村先生がそう言ってくれたんなら真面目に首相やんないとまずいか。
そうそう、噂をすれば影。そろそろ部員がやってくる頃でしょ。私はおいとまするけど、 三辻さんはきちんと師匠になりなさい。
何見ていかないのシャ？
見てもわからないもの。遠くから眺める分にはいいけどね。不心得者が道場にいるわけにはいかないでしょ。
Just as I get up to leave, the first club members begin entering the archery range.
おはようございます、師匠。
ああ、おはようマト。今朝は一人？
はい。力になれず、申し訳ありません。
ああ、いいっていいって。本人が弓をやらないって言うんなら無理をさせても仕方がない。
Ayako speaks to the first club member to arrive.
それじゃあ失礼するわ。また後でね、三辻さん。
ああ、また後でね、遠坂。
お疲れ様です、遠坂先輩。ありがとう。さくらもしっかりね。
I feel like that would be a lot more of a normal interaction if you know that they're not, you know, sisters ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to keep reading?
Yeah, I can.
Alright, good.
I leave the dojo behind so as not to get in the way.
やあ、遠坂。おはよう。朝から君に会えるなんてついてるな。
Our favorite guy.
No, don't even say that. Don't say that. I hate him.
All right. Oh no. And here comes the person I least wanted to see.
おはよう、マト君。今日は早いのね。
当たり前だろ。首相なんだから。早めに来ないと一年に示しがつかないじゃないか。
Shinji Mato from Class 2C grins at me. He's the vice captain of the Kyudo club, and darling of half the girls at the school. It's mostly thanks to his looks, but of course he's also admired for his good grades, social graces, and being kind to girls, and being an overall heartthrob, or something like that. It's actually kind of surprising. I mean, you see him in the show, like, walking around with girls sometimes, but I didn't get the impression that, like, I don't know, they were like, he was just like the cool guy at school.
No, I never got that either. I felt like he was almost borderline.
Yeah, I guess they don't really give enough time to like show that that's what he's supposed to be. You know what I mean? He kind of just is an asshole from the rip.
Yeah.
So I really don't follow that kind of stuff. It's just what I hear my classmates say.
そう。ご機嫌なところ悪いんだけど、一文字抜けてるわ、マト君。大事な字だから忘れない方がいいと思うけど。
一文字抜けてるって何がさ？
幸福の福。字は違うけど響きは一緒でしょ、副首相さん。気をつけなさい。別に首相も副首相も変わらないけど、変に意識するとこだわってるみたいに聞こえるでしょ。
That's pretty funny.
そうだね。今後は気をつける。ありがとう、遠坂。
お礼を言われるようなことはしてないけど、まあ、マト君がそう思ったのなら私には関係ないか。
With that, I turn to leave the range.
ちょっと待てよ。見学に来たんだろ。なら見ていけばいいじゃないか。
遠慮するわ。練習の邪魔をしたくないもの。
そんなの構わないよ。他の連中が気に障るんなら締め出すからさ。ちょっと寄っていけって。
だから邪魔をする気はないって言ってるでしょ。それに私別に弓道に興味があるわけじゃないから。知らないやつのシャを見ても嬉しくないわ。
なんだよ遠坂。弓道に興味はなかったのか。へえ。だっていうのに放課後になると遠くから見てたのはそういうわけかな。
I don't know what he's playing at, but he seems to have seriously misunderstood things.
なんだ、知ってたの、マト君。
ああ、よく目があったんだぜ。僕と遠坂。シャを終えてさ、斬新な時に限って遠坂は僕を見ていたろ。声を返したかったけど、一応決まりでね。 車上では声を上げちゃいけないんだ。
Damn, too true. Shinji starts closing in on me, looking pleased with himself. I see the triumphant glint in his eye competing with that affable smile.
勘違いしてたよ。遠坂は弓が好きなんだと思ってたけど、弓道には興味がないんだろ。ならなんで遠坂は道場を見ていたのかな。
Ah, now I see. It would sound like that, wouldn't it?
離れてくれないかしら、マト君。私、あまり人に近寄られるのは好きじゃないし。
She told him.
True.
ん？なに？遠坂？
あきれた。ここまで言ってもわからないのね。趣味じゃないけど仕方ないか。簡単にあなたにも理解できるように言ってあげる。いい、マト君。私は弓道に興味がない以上にあなたに興味はないって言ってるのよ。実際あなたが車上にいたなんて今初めて知ったぐらいだし、きっとこれからも目に入らないわ。
Didn't have to do him like that.
なんだと？
Must have touched a nerve because he tries to grab me roughly. I twist out of his reach and turn to leave.
それじゃあね、マト君。自意識過剰なのも結構だけど、ほどほどにしておいた方がいいわよ。
Yeah.
遠坂、お前。
Shinji sounds like he's about to say something, but he keeps his temper and doesn't chase after me. The guy is all style, no substance. Damn. If he had even a little backbone, the people around him wouldn't suffer nearly so much. I take the rear entrance into the campus from the archery range. It's past 7 now, but there still aren't students in the hallways.
あれ？遠坂さんだ。おはようございます、藤村先生。
おはよう遠坂さん。ちゃんと挨拶してくれて先生は嬉しいよ。
The strange woman pretends to sob in delight. It may be hard to believe, but this extraordinarily affectionate and happy-go-lucky woman is actually a teacher here.
先生、ちゃんと挨拶をする以外にする挨拶があるのでしょうか？
あるわよ。1年生はちゃんと挨拶してくれるんだけどね。上級生になってくると私の名字で挨拶しないんだから。
はあ、よくわかりませんけど、先生に失礼なことはしませんが。
よしよし。ああ、みんながみんな遠坂さんみたいだったらいいのにな。
With a parting wave and a see ya, Miss Fujimura leaves. Fortunately, she isn't my homeroom teacher. Miss Fujimura teaches English. Damn.
Oh,
She's kind of a bitch sometimes, though, too.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah. But also, like, I mean, Shinji deserved it.
Yeah, he deserved it, but
Yeah.
the teacher, I don't know. The teacher's just really nice.
Yeah, she's
I
just
like
being
her.
nice. All right. Her sunny attitude belies her expert rank in Japanese fencing, kendo. In her student days, they called her the Fuyuki Tiger. That's the mystery, though. You'd think someone known as a tiger would be feared, not adored, right? Miss Fujimura cheerily heads off in the direction of the archery range. For some reason, she's the faculty advisor in the Kyudo club instead of the kendo club.
What's the difference?
Kendo is like they use like swords. It's like, have you ever seen like
Like
people training with like a wooden sword? Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
I think so, at least. It's just before 7:30. I can see students doing their club activities on the school grounds, but there's hardly anyone indoors, except
遠坂。
he always blurts out my name like I did something wrong every time he sees me.
あら、生徒会長。こんな朝早くから校舎の見回り？それとも各部室の手入れかしら？どっちでもいいけど相変わらず豆ね、そういうとこ。
そういうお前こそ何を企んでいる？部活動もしていないお前がこんな早くに何の用か？
ただの気まぐれよ。 竜斗くんちみたいに早起きじゃないもの、私。
The student council president's handsome face darkens with suspicion. He seems to have it out for me. I really don't know why. Maybe me saying temples are so dull, pass, is what started it.
一つ聞いておくが、最近夜遅くまで校舎にいたことはあるか、遠坂。
I think it's funny how she's just like, pass.
私が帰宅部だって知ってるでしょ、竜斗くんは。
I feel like a lot of Americans would feel that way. Like a lot of people are not at all respectful of like churches and stuff like that in the same way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for like young Japanese people. I mean, this is supposed to take place in like 2000, early 2000s, but like especially now, like, I feel like kids are just like, fuck, I'm not trying to go to church on Sunday. Go pray to a temple. What? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Me not respecting church. Too true, Kayla. Too true. Christmas is the only occasion where you're obligated, for some at least. Some would say. Hopefully Nan doesn't hear this. Anyways.
当然だ。生徒会長を任された以上、全校生徒の情報は把握している。
How come I don't see you on Fortnite for real?
True.
Hop on games. How about that?
そうなら私に聞くまでもないでしょ。なんだってそんなことを聞くか知らないけど、生徒会の仕事を部外者に押し付けちゃまずいんじゃない？情報収集は一人でやりなさいよ。私みたいな部外者に頼らないで。
Catch me night shift, Forrest. How about that?
Oh, are you working night shift?
Tragic.
I hope not.
Yeah.
たわけ、お前のどこが部外者だ。うちの会計の首根っこ掴んで悪さをしたのを知らぬと思ったが、このめぎつれ。
あら、人聞きが悪いわね。あれは三辻さんに頼まれて部費の割合を明らかにしただけでしょ。みんなの予算がどこに使われているか調べるなんて生徒として当然の行為だと思うけど。
なんと、うちの会計を1週間休ませた精神的ダメージが当然の行為なのか。とんでもない倫理観をお持ちのようだな、相変わらず。
He did. He definitely did call her a gold digger.
あなたもね、部下の手綱ぐらいちゃんと握ってなさい。文化系ばかりひいきするのはフェアじゃないわ。
分かっている。だからこそ俺の手で不正を正したかったのだが。
Yo. Wait, he's not voiced? Alright, it's fixed, you say. Just then, an unexpected visitor makes his presence known.
と、悪い。頼んだのはこっちなのに、エミヤに任せっきりにしてしまった。許せ。
Don't worry about it. Where's the next one? We don't have much time.
Oh, I remember this now.
次は視聴覚室
Yeah,
だ。
he's like fixing up
こ
the
れから調子が悪か
I
った
don't
そうな
know,
んだが、
AC units or something.
この度ついに天寿を全うされた。
If it's completely broken, I can't fix it. It'd be easier to buy a new one.
そうなんだが、一応見てくれると助かる。俺から見れば臨終だが、お前から見れば仮病かもしれん。
Okay, I'll try. Beckoned by the other student, the president leaves. I'd stopped thinking during the sudden turn of events. The other boy, wrench and screwdriver in hand, turns as if he's remembered something. You're early today, Sosaka. He awkwardly mutters and leaves. Was that supposed to be a greeting? The president and the student called Emiya walk off into the distance. That would be Emiya Shiro from class 2C.
それはいいんだけどさ。
How do I put it? The wrench looked right at home in his hands, but I'm not sure if it's because it makes him look tough or handy.
It's an odd thing to say.
It definitely is, yeah. All right. At 7:30 a.m., there's nobody else in classroom 2A. I take a seat at my desk and flip through my math workbook. There's still 30 minutes until morning homeroom. I've got time to kill until my classmates start arriving. The classroom is lively as lunch break begins before. Oh my god, sorry. The classroom is lively as lunch break begins after fourth period. My school is a cafeteria, so only about half of the students stay in the room. It's mostly girls that stay behind. The girls think the cafeteria is a bit too liberal with the seasoning, so...
東坂さん、よかったらお昼ご飯一緒に食べませんか?
We girls tend to enjoy our lunches as a group. I feel like I shouldn't be reading this. Do you want to read this part?
Yeah, I can.
Alright.
ありがとう、三枝さん。けどごめんなさい。私今日は学食なんです。今朝は寝過ごし、いや、そうなんですか。ごめんなさい。そうとも知らず呼び止めてしまって。私余計なことしましたね。
Saigusa.
Saigusa looks guiltily at her feet. Among the refined and well-behaved students of Class A, she's the most demure. For some reason, she's really nice to me.
Sure.
I know.
余計なことだなんてそんなことはありません。今日はたまたまだから気にしないで。また明日これに懲りず声をかけてください。
I let her down as gently as I can and offer a genuine smile.
はい。でも東坂さんでも寝過ごすことがあるんですね。
Like everyone treats her like she's like a god or something.
Yeah, I think it's probably because, like, she comes from a rich family, and then she also has, like, really good grades and whatnot. You know what I mean? That's,
Yeah.
like...
It's like the equivalent.
Yeah. She's, like... I guess that's what makes you popular in other countries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's the same here.
Perhaps my smile made her feel better. Saigusa?
Saigusa.
Saigusa turns back to her table, looking relieved. She's adorable. Yukika Saigusa isn't dropped at gorgeous, but her smile always puts everyone around her at ease.
ええ、そうなんです。なんとかごまかしてますけど、本当は寝ぼすけなんですよ、私。部活だって朝起きられないから入ってないんです。
How many times am I gonna have to say this name?
Sorry.
Saigusa somehow maintains an elegant air even when startled. Watching her reactions is always so calming, but that doesn't mean I have time to stand here and talk. If I keep up a conversation with someone so disarming, the real me is bound to show herself.
それじゃあ食堂に行ってきます。三枝さんもごゆっくり。はい、東坂さんも。
Saigusa and I exchange some graceful greetings, and she returns to her friends. I see that she's eating with
Kaede.
Kaede, Makidera, and Kane Himuro.
Probably Kane.
Kana.
It's alright. Kane.
I feel like you should be reading the names.
Alright, you want me to pick up here? Alright.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Wasn't Saigusa the track and field club manager?
You see it so easy.
Makidera and Himuro are the track and field club's rising stars. Makidera's bad influence with whom I go window shopping on days off, but I don't know Himuro too well.
売られたね、ゆきっち。だから言ったでしょ。東坂は弁当持ってこないって。釣りたかったらあいつの分も飯用意しないとね。マキ、それは私たちも食堂に移動すればいいだけの話では。ダメダメ、食堂は狭いんだから。弁当組が座れるスペースなんてねっての。それに東坂と同席してみなさい。男どもの視線がうざいのなんの。前の休みだってさ、二人で遊びに行ったのにあいつだけ得しちゃってさ。 やだよね、美人を鼻にかけた優等生は。
Damn.
It's funny. She wants, like, why ask to sit with her?
Hmm?
Like, why ask to sit with her? They're like, but we don't actually want to be seen with you.
Yeah, I don't know. Fickle, I guess.
Yeah.
Alright. Makitera takes hold of Saigusa's desk as she continues to rant about me. Despite of her foul mouth, she actually wears a kimono really well, like a picturesque Japanese beauty.
牧野氏、君の陰口は遠坂城に聞こえているようだが。
Meanwhile, Himuro's cool and solid demeanor are a complete foil to that Makitera.
やべ、遠坂に聞かれた。ゲゲ、めっちゃ睨んでるじゃん、あいつ。別に遠坂さん、マキちゃんを睨んでなんかないと思うけど。睨んでんだよ、あれ。あいつは笑ってる時が一番怖いんだから。なんだよ、いいじゃんか、口ぐらい。多めに見ろよ。私と遠坂の仲だろ。たい焼きおごってやっただろ。
Kaede Makidera puffs her cheeks in a pout, or out in a pout, waving her disposable chopsticks in the air. Would you believe that her hobby is collecting wind chimes? The world works in strange ways. That is a really weird hobby.
I've never met anybody who collects wind chimes.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it would make, I don't know. There are a lot of cool wind chimes, like at like antique stores and stuff like that. But
No, yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
There's
but
definitely, but I've never been like, yeah, they're a wind chime person. Like,
yeah. All right. At any rate, it's rude to Saigusa to stare at the three of them. Caught between me and the foul-mouthed Makidera, Saigusa looks like she doesn't know what to do with herself.
気にしないでいいのよ、三枝さん。それと牧寺さん、おごらされたのは私で、品物はたい焼きではなくクレープでした。無意識に事実を改ざんする悪癖、次あたりに直さないと考えますよ。
dang.
マジ怖え、あの笑顔。
Makidera holds up her lunchbox lid like some kind of shield. I bid the odd trio farewell, leave the classroom, and slide the door closed. Oops.
なんだよ、大差ないじゃんか、たい焼きもクレープも。どっちも甘いの、皮で包んでるんだからさ。
Makidera utters something blasphemous for a girl.
たい焼きとクレープが同じですって？
They really aren't the same thing at all. Is she even human? Are all desserts the same to her? If I'd known that her taste buds can't distinguish floors, 500 yen very, very berry from 80 yen taiyaki at Edomeya, damn you, Kaede Makidera. I couldn't save 420 yen. Alright, see you in a bit, Kayla.
Thanks for stopping by, Kay.
I must still be tired from last night. The cafeteria sounds like a pain, so I'll just buy some bread from the counter and eat on the roof.
I feel like that'd be so cool. I would love to eat on the roof.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's actually something you're allowed to do. It seems like...
Is that just a thing in movies and shows?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know if that's something kids actually do or not. It seems like a lot of times they're, like, closed in some shows and then others they're allowed, so... They do have those giant-ass fences, though. Alright.
Yeah.
I purchase my lunch and head to the unoccupied roof. Though it's different in the summertime, during the winter the roof is a convenient place to eat that the other students tend to avoid. It's too cold to hang out here during lunch, but that's a small price to pay for privacy.
さて、とりあえずご飯と。
I indulge in the tomato sandwich and hot lemon drink I bought from the cafeteria. It's a simple lunch, made all the more delicious by the fact that I can enjoy it up here in peace. I finish the sandwich and sip on the warm, lemony drink. I'm a little tired. It's hard to balance being an overachiever with with avoiding human contact as much as possible. Damn. As the saying goes, one should be accomplished at both the pen and the sword. It's a point of pride, no, conviction, that I be the top student of the school. I decided that if I was going to be a student, then I would be the very best. I don't want people looking down on the Tosaka name. That's how Rin Tosaka came to be a perfect, flawless student. On the other hand, my occupation as a mage is dangerous. So I shouldn't associate too much with normal people. When a mage is discovered by the public, she has no choice but to eliminate witnesses to protect herself. I'd rather not resort to that. That's why I keep my social interactions purely superficial out of necessity. I only hang out with Makidera on my days off, and I turn down invitations from more sociable people like Saegusa. It's difficult walking the tightrope of being the #1 student at school while making sure I don't become anybody else's #1. She's kind of arrogant.
Yeah. But I mean, I kind of get it. Like, she's trying to like uphold her family name, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like it's kind of a fine line. I do think she's going over a little bit.
She is.
She's definitely full of herself, but
for sure.
I do understand why she's that way. And sure, there are times when it tires me out and I feel like life is a real drag.
もう時間か。
Finish the hot lemon drink and stand up. That's enough sentimentality for today. Time to go back downstairs and become Rin Tosaka again.
ではホームルームを終了する。日直は西と戸締まりの確認を。
I realized this was her homeroom teacher.
Hold on. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry.
You're good.
部活動のない生徒は速やかに帰宅するように。
Class 2A's teacher gives his usual spiel and leaves the room. As far as I know, he said it exactly the same way all year.
遠坂、今日はもうお帰り？
ええ、朝方マトウ君と一見あったし、面倒になる前に帰るわ。
やっぱりそうか。マトウのやつ、今朝は特に荒れてたからさ。遠坂に手ひどく扱われたんだろうなって思ってた。
She definitely did.
そう、迷惑をかけてしまったかしら、三辻さん。
別に、マトウが下級生をいびるのはいつものことだし、あれはあれでいい精神鍛錬になるよ。
そう、よかった。じゃあこの埋め合わせはまた今度。
はいはい、これに懲りずまた寄っていってちょうだい。
Make my way home without taking any detours. My time as Rin Tosaka, the honor student, ends once I leave the school. The next half of the day is reserved for the other me. I have to become a mage of the Tosaka. When I arrive back at the house, I'm greeted with the pulsing light of my answering machine.
留守電なんて珍しいな。相手はやっぱりあんたか、キレ。
I have a feeling I know what he's going to say, but I'd better listen or I won't hear the end of it later. I press the play button and hear a familiar male voice.
私だ。分かっていると思うが、期限は明日までだぞ、リン。あまり悠長に構えられては困る。残る席はあと2つだ。早々にマスターを揃えねばならん。
The priest cuts straight to the point.
マスターの権利を放棄するというのなら、今日中に連絡しろ。予備の魔術師を派遣するにも時間がかかる。
Liar. I bet you could find a backup right away.
お前にはすでに0時の兆しが現れているのだ。さっさと サーバントを召喚しレイジを開け。もっとも聖杯戦争に参加しないというのならば話は別だ。命が惜しいのなら早々に教会に駆け込むがいい。
Voicemail ends. It was a clear message in simple language. If you're going to fight, then be ready by today. If you aren't, then retire because you're in the way.
言われなくても分かってるわよ。
It's only to be expected, I guess. Today's the last day I can drag this out. Thankfully, I managed to decipher Father's notes yesterday. My battle preparations are in order. All that's left is to seize the right to participate, as he said.
聖杯戦争。たった一つきりの聖杯を奪い合う殺し合い。何百年も前から伝わってきた聖杯の儀式か。
Mages who take part in the Holy Grail War are called Masters. It doesn't denote a rank of any kind, merely describes their role. There's a condition to participate in the Holy Grail War. You must summon a familiar called a servant and form a contract with them. Regardless of your skills as a mage, you are not recognized as a master unless you command a servant. There's a clear difference between servants and normal familiars. The way you summon and use them are different. Mages who plan to fight in the Holy Grail War prepare summoning catalysts, but
ほんと、父さんもセイバーにゆかりのものを残してくれればよかったのに。
I don't own any relics with a connection to a servant. I can summon one, yes. In fact, I could do it right now if I wanted to, as well as form a contract. This town's ley lines are under the jurisdiction of the Tosaka. I'm the heir to a clan that administered the land for generations, so my performance will not take a backseat to someone visiting mage.
Be right back, chat.
Sorry about that, guys. Alrighty. I'm the heir to a clan that's administered the land for generations, so my performance will not take a backseat to some visiting mage. Although, while that is true, it'd be awfully incompetent of me to embark on a figurative voyage without a compass.
サーバントはシンボルによって引き寄せられる。強力なサーバントを呼び出したいのなら、そのサーバントにゆかりのあるものが必要不可欠なのだ。
In other words, I'd need some outrageously valuable item, like a sword or a piece of armor that a servant owned, or maybe a bone or heraldry related to them.
父さんの遺言に期待してたんだけどな。これはこれでものすごい切り札なんだけど。
The pendant I discovered in the basement last night is an ancient artifact of the highest quality. It's amazing all on its own. Still, it won't help me summon a servant.
いいわよ。そんなものに頼らなくたってなんとかなるわ。そもそも私以外にセーバーを扱えるマスターなんているはずないし。
Alright, I've made up my mind. I'd rather not get another earful, and waiting until the last minute doesn't sit right with me. Now the real challenge begins. Tonight, I'm going to summon a servant while I'm in peak condition, and acquire Saber by force. You want to pick up here?
Yeah. Late night. The clock reads almost 2 a.m. This is the period where everything lines up. My condition peaks at 2 a.m. sharp. In terms of limits, this will be my first and last chance, so I can't afford even the slightest mistake. Withdraw.
消去の中に大挙。
Sorry.
Here.
大挙の陣を4つ刻んで、召喚の陣で囲んだ。
I inscribed magic circles into the floor of the basement. Actually, it doesn't take a major evocation to call forth a servant. Servants are invited by the Holy Grail. Masters anchor them to the world and supply the magical energy to materialize them. Servants are the ones who choose to respond to the summons.
Sony 銀と鉄、礎に石と契約の対抗。ソニは我が大使シュバインヨーグ。降り立つ風には壁を。司法の門は閉じ、王冠より出。王国に至るサンサルは循環せよ。
Still, I need to keep cautious and focus. Magic circles are normally drawn with blood, but tonight I draw mine with melted jewels. I'm using up half of the jewels I've accumulated over my lifetime, so I'll never financially recover from this if it fails.
満たせ、満たせ、満たせ、満たせ、満たせ。繰り返し都度に5度。ただ、満たされる時を破却する。
It's almost 2 a.m. I finish drawing the summoning circle passed down through the Tosca line, and face it with all my being.
アンフォン。
I flick a formless switch within myself. With a click, I feel my insides turn over to something else. My normal nerves invert and become circuits for conducting magical energy. Green Tosca is no longer human. She's just a component in the execution of mystics. I melt from my fingers. No, I'm filled up from my fingers. The mana I'm taking in is so dense, it overwrites my bodily sensations. That's why I'm being destroyed at the same time as being filled. Running through my body is the power, mana, from the atmosphere. I convert it into a different type of energy through my body's circuits. A mage's body is nothing but circuits. Circuits to connect the ethereal to the material. The mystical outcome we produce is what we call magecraft.
Pretty cool, CJ.
Really cool, yeah. My body grows hot. It seems like horns are growing from my forehead. It seems like wings are sprouting from my back. It seems like scales are covering my hands. It feels like there's a water pooling around my ankles. Sweat drips. Stab, stab. Swords pierce my body. These are the stigmata that reject my body, which becomes a circuit. No matter how gifted a mage is, we're only human. In a human body, the pain is something we must live with whenever we use magecraft. The cycle doesn't let up. Beyond the agony, deep within the trance, lies the mental state necessary for connection. Pain wriggles in my left arm. To aid the caster, my magic crest autonomously begins an incantation invading my nervous system. The mana in the atmosphere I've taken in turns to blood. It's like molten lead, while my activated magic crest resembles thorny nerves. With a crunching sensation, it creeps throughout my body like a thorny centipede. Within the hurt, I forget myself. At the same time, I can feel it taking hold of me, like I've reached where I needed to go. My hypersensitive hearing picks up the ticking clock in the parlor. 10 seconds left until 2 a.m. The power filling my body is unquestionably complete. Time to begin. I convert the mana I've collected into magical energy for fixation. All that's left is to feed all that energy into the engine, the summoning circle, until my body runs dry.
告げる。汝の身は我が元に。我が命運は汝の剣に。聖杯のウルベに従い、この断りに従うならば答えよ。
My vision goes dark. What lies before me is now the fifth factor, said to be imperceptible to the naked eye. My vision shuts off on its own, fearing what it might see.
誓いよここに。我は常世すべての善となるもの。我は常世すべての悪を敷くもの。汝三代の言霊をまとう七点。抑止の輪より来たれ。天秤の守り手よ。
That went off without a hitch. It feels so perfect, it's like I'm reeling in a whale with a fishing rod. Flawless, I'm positive I drew the strongest card. I can't wait for my vision to return. I'll take a few more seconds, but when it does, I'm sure the strongest servant will be nowhere in sight.
はい？
Nothing's there. The room doesn't look different at all. I spun that much either into this ritual only for absolutely nothing to materialize. On top of that, I think I just heard something explode in the parlor.
なんでよ！
I bolt. My head's empty at this point. I just run. I race up the stairs from the basement.
扉壊れてる！
The door to the parlor is askew off its hinges. There isn't any point in turning the doorknob. And since it won't open whether I push or pull,
もう邪魔だから！
I kick it down and burst it into the room. And the moment I enter the parlor, everything becomes clear. Everything is in tatters. Rubble is strewn across everything, as if something had fallen through the ceiling. On top of it all sits a man cocking his head arrogantly. He must be some kind of criminal. But something graver draws my attention. The grandfather clock, having escaped the destruction, tells me the time precisely. Now I remember. Right, of course. The clocks were an hour ahead today, weren't they? Which means it's 1 a.m. Still a full hour left until I'm in peak spellcasting form.
またやっちゃった。
I can complete tasks as well as anybody else, but suffer from the curse of my genetics. When it really counts, I somehow manage to bungle things on an unbelievable level.
Shit's tragic.
I can't.
やっ
I
ちゃ
feel
っ
like
た
that's
ことは
something I
仕
would
方
actually
な
do.
い。反省。
Bro, it took us like 3 days to reset the clock on the fucking oven.
Yeah, now it's blinking again because
Yeah. It's
because
blinking
the power,
again.
It's blinking, yeah, because the power went out.
Yesterday? I don't even remember that. Alright, do you want me to pick up?
Yeah, you go ahead.
I can't believe my own stupidity. Still irritated, I directly glare at the man lounging haughtily on the rubble.
それで、あんた何？
開口一番それか。これはまたとんでもないマスターに引き当てられたものだ。
The man in the red mantle shakes his head in a show of exasperation. To add insult to injury, he mutters something about drawing the short straw. Oh, now I'm dead certain. This guy is has a messed up personality. And is this a servant? I'd thought familiars were shapeless beings, but this is just a man. No, not just a man. Even from here I can tell that it's brimming with a shocking amount of magical energy. Don't be fooled by its appearance. I'm staring at something that's undoubtedly more than human. It's a human-shaped ghost that's on the level of an elemental. This is no time to be dumbstruck. That thing belongs to me. I need to get my head in the game.
確認するけど、あなたは私のサーバントで間違いない？
それはこちらが聞きたいな。君こそ私のマスターなのか。ここまで乱暴な召喚は初めてでね。正直状況がつかめない。
私だって初めてよ。そういう質問は却下するわ。
そうか。だが私が召喚された時に君は目の前にいなかった。
本気？ひな鳥じゃあるまいし、目を開けた時にしか主を決められないなんて冗談はやめてよね。
The unidentified servant frowns, and a grunt escapes his lips. Maybe he didn't like the way I said it, though he has a mixed reaction, as if still impressed by the logic in my words.
まあいいわ。私が聞いているのはね、あなたが他の誰でもない、この私のサーバントかってことだけよ。それをはっきりさせない以上、他の質問に答える義務はないわ。
召喚に失敗しておいてそれか。この場合、他に色々と言うべきことがあると思うのだな。
そんなのないわよ。主従関係は一番初めにはっきりさせておくべきものだもの。
The servant's eyebrow twitches. He isn't even bothering to hide his dissatisfaction with me. I wonder if it's because of the half-baked summoning.
主従関係ははっきりさせておくか。
Reminds me of the Ben and
やるこ
Jerry's
とは
ice
知ってん
cream.
だらけだが、口だけは達者らしい。ああ、確かにその意見には賛成だ。どちらが強者で、どちらが弱者なのか、明確にしておかなければ、お互いやりづらかろう。
The servant eyes me meaningfully, still relaxing on the rubble of my living room.
どちらが弱者かですって？
ああ、私もサーバントだ。
呼ばれたからには主従関係を認めるさ。だがそれはあくまで契約上の話だろう。どちらがより優れたものか、共に戦うにふさわしい相手かを測るのは別になる。さて、その件でいくと、君は私のマスターにふさわしい魔術師なのかな、お嬢さん。
Servant smirks. First he destroys my house and acts like he's the king of a castle. And now he has the nerve to ask whether I'm worthy.
あなたの意見なんて聞いてないわ。私が聞いているのは、あなたが私のサーバントかどうかってことだけよ。
I repeat myself, stealing my gaze. I'm not going to back down from this condescending jerk.
ほう、なるほどなるほど。そんな当たり前のことは答えるまでもないと。実に勇ましい。いや、気概だけなら立派なマスターだが。
だから順番を間違えるなっていうの。一番初めに確認するのは召喚者の務めよ。さあ答えなさい。あなたは私のサーバントなのね。
I step forward aggressively, ready to pounce depending on his answer.
強情なお嬢さんだ。これでは話が進まんな。仕方あるまい。仮に私が君のサーバントだとしよう。で、その場合、君が私のマスターなのか。いやまあ、あくまで仮の話だが。
当たり前じゃない。あなたが私に呼ばれたサーバントなら、あなたのマスターは私以外に誰がいるっていうのよ。
I glare at this rude man, giving my seething head a moment to cool down.
おう、そうか。まあ仮の話なんだが、とりあえずそうだとしよう。それで、君が私のマスターである証はどこにある？
The servant blithely asks, smirking all the while. He's clearly trying to goad me with these questions into losing my temper.
ここよ。あなたのマスターである証ってこれでしょ。
I show him the command spells on my right hand. Don't think I was born yesterday. Father's told me enough that I know what command spells are at least.
納得いった？これでもまだ文句を言うの？
I thrust the symbols at him in a challenge. The lounging servant rolls his eyes.
まいったな。本気で言っているのか、お嬢さん。
His face darkens, looking even more disgruntled.
本気かってなんでよ。
その考えがだ。霊樹があればマスターなのか。霊樹などサーバントを利する道具に過ぎないだろう。まったく、そんな形だけのものでマスターブルとはな。私が見たかったのは、君が忠誠を振るうにふさわしい人物かどうかだったのだが。
That makes sense. But normally you'd think of the command spells if someone asked for proof of your normally you'd think of command spells if someone asked for proof you're a master, right?
何よ。それじゃあ私はマスター失格？
そう願いたいが、そうはいくまい。霊樹がある以上、私の召喚者は君のようだ。信じがたいが、君は本当に私のマスターらしいな。
He shrugs in mock exhaustion. Uh-oh. I've reached my boiling point, and I'm not going to cool down in time.
まったくもって不満だが、認めよう。とりあえず、君は私のマスターだ。だが、私にも条件がある。私は今後、君の言い分には従わない。戦闘方針は私が決めるし、君はそれに従って行動する。これが最大の譲歩だ。それで構わないな、お嬢さん。
Sorry, father. I'm at my limit. I feel like she's kind of getting a taste of her own medicine. You know what I mean?
That is true, yeah.
They're both kind of, I don't know,
Yeah.
assholes.
そう。不満だけど認めるくせに、 私の意見には取り合わないってどういうことかしら。あなたは私のサーバントなんでしょ。
I ask in a trembling voice. After our spat over the command spells, this is my last desperate attempt at dialogue. And yet,
ああ、形の上だけはな。故に形式上は君に従ってやる。だが戦うのは私自身だ。君はこの家の地下にでも隠れて聖杯戦争が終わるまでじっとしていればいい。それなら未熟な君でも命だけは助かるだろう。
he's looking down at me, declaring that he expects nothing from me.
怒ったのか？いや、もちろん君の立場は尊重するよ。私はマスターを勝利させるために呼ばれたものだからな。私の勝利は君のものだし、戦いで得たものは全て君にくれてやる。それなら文句はなかろう。どうせ君に令状は使えまい。まあ、後のことは私に任せて、君は自分の身の安全を。
あ頭きた。いいわ、そんなに言うなら使ってやろうじゃない。アンファン。
No more mercy. I've got nothing else for a jackass like this.
まさか。
そのまさかよ、この礼儀知らず。フィアトラーク、アイノイエナーゲル、アイノイエスケナツ、アイノイエスフィアブレヒン。
待て、正気かマスター。そんなことで令状を使うやつが。
うるさい。いい？あんたは私のサーバントなら私の言い分には絶対服従ってもんでしょ。
The emblem on my right hand aches. 3 command spells. They allow a master to issue 3 unbreakable commands to their servants.
考えなさい君は。こんな大雑把なことに令状を使うなど。
Ugh, it's too late to whine now. I didn't expect this to happen either. I want to die of self-loathing. I can't believe I just burned one of my precious command spells on a petty squabble. Squabble up. After that, I retreated from the ruins of the parlor and went to my bedroom. Before me stands the servant whom my command spells compelled absolute obedience from. Supposedly, anyway.
なるほど。君の性質は大体理解したぞ、マスター。
Who would call this absolute obedience?
念のため尋ねるが、君は令状がどれほど重要か理解しているのか、マスター。
知ってるわよ。サーバントを律する3回きりの命令権でしょ。それが何よ。
いいかね。令状はサーバントを強制的に行動させるものだ。それは行動を止めるだけでなく、行動を強化させるという意味でもある。例えば、私はここから遠くの場所まで瞬間的には移動できない。だが、令状で行けと命じれば、それが私と君の魔力で届くことならば可能となる。強制命令権とはそういうことだ。サーバント自身でも制御できない肉体の限界さえ突破させる大魔術の結晶が3つの令状なのだ。まあ今では2つに減ってしまったがな。
知ってるわよ、そんなこと。いいじゃない、まだ2つあるんだし。あなたに命じた規則は無駄じゃないんだし。
確かにこれは私の誤算だった。令状というものは曖昧な命令には効きが弱くなる。私を守り通せ、この戦いに勝てなどといった広く長く効果が続くものには令状の力が弱くなる。効き目は長く続くが苦痛が小さいため逆らえるサーバントも出てくるだろう。逆に次の一撃を死ぬ気で放て、あのグラスだけは壊すなといった単一の命令は絶対で、よほど強力なサーバントでも逆らうのは難しくなる。さて、ここまでで 私が言いたいことがわかるな、マスター。
わかるわよ。要するに広く長い命令は意味がないんでしょ。効果も戒めも薄いならサーバントは霊樹に逆らって行動できる。そんな効き目の薄い命令をするなら絶対的な単一の命令をした方がいい。
そうだ。霊樹とはもともと自分たちの能力以上の奇跡を起こすためのもの。それを代用の効く命令などで消費する具は許されない。君の先ほどの霊樹はまさにそれだ。私が君に従うかは話し合いで解決できたことだし、仮に霊樹を使ったところで全ての言動に絶対服従など霊樹が100あっても実現できない。
じゃあ私のさっきの霊樹は無意味ってこと？
通常ならそうなのだがな。どうも君の魔術師としての性能は桁が違ったらしい。
Is he shocked or happy? My servant's lips twitch upward, even as he sighs.
桁が違ったってもしかして。ちょっとあなた、自分が今どんな状態なのか正直に話してみなさい。
The implication dawns on me, and I ask him eagerly.
ああ、誤算というのはそれだ。先ほどの命令では少しはマスターの意見を尊重しようという程度の心変わりにしかならない。だが今の私は君の言葉に強い強制を感じている。君の意見に異を唱えると、そうだな、ランクが一つばかり落ちるようだ。
It's kind of funny. I don't think they really elaborated on that in the show.
I feel like they kind of did.
Maybe a little bit, but like, I didn't realize that like if he didn't listen, it would actually like
Hurt him.
yeah, like not hurt him, but like almost like make him weaker, like less of himself.
That is true. They didn't.
Yeah, I mean they mentioned everything else, but it's just interesting.
つまりマスターの意向に逆らうと体が重くなって動きづらいというところか。
My servant shrugs in resignation. So he's saying that my command spell wasn't a waste, but an actual benefit. He's still being as sarcastic as ever, so it doesn't seem to have had any effect. Besides, even if he's weakened, I doubt even 10 of me could resist if he decided to rebel against me.
前言を撤回しよう、マスター。年齢は若いが、君は卓越した魔術師だ。子供と侮り、戦いから遠ざけようとしたのは私の過ちだった。無礼ともども謝ろう。
The servant straightens his posture and gives me a formal bow.
やめてよ。確かにいろいろ言い合ったけど、そんなの喧嘩両成敗っていうか。
そうか。いや、話のわかるマスターで助かった。
I wonder if like
なんか切り返し早いわね、あんた。
like the sudden like change in his behavior is influenced by the command spell that she did.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what he says. At least to some extent. I mean, he kind of still is the same person he would be, but, you know, like he's leaning towards actually listening to her, being open to it.
It's interesting.
Yeah, made him more open to the idea that, like, she actually is a talented mage.
Yeah.
Or at least accepting that.
誤算は誤算だったが、嬉しい誤算というやつだったからな。これほどの才能があるのなら、君を戦いに巻き込むことに異論はない。
Is this a roundabout way of saying I'm a strong master?
じゃあ、霊樹抜きで私がマスターだって認めるのね。
無論だ。先ほどは召喚されたばかりで馴染んでいなかったが、今では完全につながった。魔術師であるのなら、契約によるつながりを感じられるだろう。
契約？
Now that he mentions it, something does feel weird about my body. It's as if my closed-off nerves are now connected to the outside. Specifically, I can feel a portion of my magical energy flowing to the man before me.
そっか。サーバントは聖杯に呼ばれるけど、呼ばれたサーバントをこの世に留めるのは。
そう、マスターの力だ。 サーバントはマスターからの魔力提供によってこの世にとどまる。魔力提供量は十分だ。経験的に問題はありそうだが、君の能力は飛び抜けている。普通の魔術師ならばサーバントを召喚した瞬間に意識を失っているだろう。だというのに君は活力に満ちている。先ほどのレイジといい、この魔力量といい、マスターとして君は間違いなく一流だ。
He's kind of glazing her up.
You really? I was gonna say he like kind of flipped on a dime.
今更褒めたって何も出ないけど。
I break eye contact out of embarrassment. Well, I didn't see this coming. I know the command spell is making him obey me, but still, this superhuman servant is sincerely acknowledging me as his master.
で、あなた何のサーバント？
I clear my head and return to business.
見てわからないか？あ、それは結構。
I take it all back. He's definitely making fun of me.
わかったわ。これはマスターとしての質問よ。ねえ、あなたセイバーじゃないの？
残念ながら剣は持っていない。
I suspected as much. When all's said and done, I got the time wrong. My summoning circle didn't do its job. My servant was spat out into some random room. It was far too sloppy of a ritual to summon the strongest servant, Saber.
ドジったわ。あれだけ宝石を使っておいてセイバーじゃないなんて目も当てられない。
悪かったな、セイバーでなくて。
え？ああ、うん。そりゃ通行のミスだから残念だけど、悪いのは私なんだから。
ああ、どうせアーチャーでは派手さに欠けるだろうよ。いいだろう。後で今の暴言を悔やませてやる。その時になって謝っても聞かないからな。
はい？
What a surprise. The unidentified servant seems to be sulking. Maybe my fixation on Saber offended him.
何？勘に触った？あーちゃん。
触った。見ていろ。必ず自分が幸運だったと思い知らせてやる。
Archer retorts with a sidelong glance. He has a really spiteful air about him, but that reaction felt somehow childish and free of malice. You know, he might be a pretty decent guy.
そうね。それじゃあ必ず私を後悔させて、あーちゃん。そうなったら素直に謝らせてもらうから。
ああ、忘れるなよ、マスター。己が召喚したものがどれほどのものか知って感謝するがいい。もっとも、その時になって謝られても、こちらの気は晴れんだろうがな。
Archer huffs, even as his lips twist into a grin. Oh yeah, this one's got a rotten personality. Alright.
まあいいわ。それであんた、どこの英霊なのよ。
Archer doesn't answer. His sardonic expression is replaced by a deepening frown.
あーちゃん？マスターである私がサーバントであるあなたに聞いているんだけど。
それは秘密だ。
は？
私がどのようなものだったかは答えられない。
あのね、つまんない理由だったら怒るわよ。
それは。
There's that face again. Archer opens and closes his mouth, as if he's having trouble voicing an uncomfortable truth.
なぜかというと、自分でもわからない。
Wait, what?
はあ？何よそれ。あんた私のことバカにしてるわけ？
マスターを侮辱するつもりはない。ただ、これは君の不完全な召喚のツケだぞ。どうも、記憶に混乱が見られる。自分が何者であるかわかるのだが、名前や素性がどうも曖昧だ。まあ、さして重要な欠落ではないから、気にすることはないのだが。
気にすることはない。気にするわよそんなの。 あんたがどんな英霊か知らなきゃどのくらい強いのかわからないじゃない。
なんだ、そんなことは問題ではなかろう。さまつな問題だよ、それは。
さまつってあんたね、相棒の強さがわからないんじゃ作戦の立てようがないでしょ。そんなんで戦っていけるわけないじゃない。
何を言う。私は君が呼び出したサーバントだ。それが最強でないはずがない。
He's so straightforward. The Crimson Knight fixes me with a gaze, full of confidence and trust. My brain grinds to a halt. There's no deception in Archer's words. He's sincerely giving me more credit than I deserve, even though we've just met. My cheeks are burning. I'm sure I'm blushing bright red right now. Surprise attacks like this tend to be my weakness.
もういいか。誰にも正体がわからないってことには変わりはないんだし、敵を騙すにはまず味方からって言うし。
I turn away from Archer to hide my embarrassment. I'm sure I'll figure out, in due time, what sort of servant he is anyway. For now, we have other priorities.
わかった。しばらくあなたの正体に関しては不問にしましょう。それじゃあ、じゃあ最初の仕事だけど。
早速か。好戦的だな、君は。それで敵は？
Before he can say enemy, I toss a broom and dustpan at him.
下の掃除お願い。あんたが散らかしたんだから責任持ってきれいにしといてね。
A few seconds pass in stunned silence. When Archer finally regains his senses, he grips the broom indignantly.
待て。君はサーバントを何だと思っている？
使い魔でしょ？ちょっと生意気で扱いに困るけど。
Archer cuts himself off. I have no intention of letting him off, and if he tries to weasel out of it, I still have a card to play.
意義あり。そのような命令は
いいの？これマスターとしての命令よ。マスターの方針に逆らったら体が重くなるんだっけ？まあ、あなたはその程度じゃどうってことないだろうけど、そのペナルティは今を掃除するまで続くのよ。そんな状態で明日から戦っていくのは危ないんじゃない？
He stands there for several more seconds, with broom in hand, grumbling under his breath. And so, the archer in the red mantle closes his eyes.
了解した。地獄に落ちろ、マスター。
Him.
They're off to a great start.
Yeah, for real. Gracefully, he accepts my order. Now then, it's getting late, so I should rest. I can decide how to deal with him once I wake up. A fateful day draws to a close. No, rather, my fate was shaped by this night. That makes 6, including me. Once the 7th and the final master summons their servant, the Holy Grail War of this generation will begin. In the not-so-distant future, the battle I've been waiting 10 long years for is about to commence. I think that's the end of that day.
Yep, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, you want to save here? Call it?
Sure.
Alright. Just gotta let this load. Cool. Nice. I think we got through a good amount.
I think so, yeah.
Alrighty. Well, for anybody that's still here, thank you for watching.
Yeah, thanks for stopping in.
We'll probably try and get like an actual schedule for doing these sometime soon.
Yeah, we're still working on that.
Yeah, deciding what days we want to stream, but probably be like, I don't know what, like maybe 3 times a week,
Yeah, I'd say so.
somewhere around there.
Maybe
and then
Thursday.
yeah, we might do it Thursday, so in 2 days, and then go from there. But yeah, we'll try and make a schedule out of this. Probably upload these to YouTube as well in case anybody wants to watch on there. and follow along. But yeah, we appreciate everybody stopping by, and we'll see you later. So thank you. Have a good night.